Hey guys, JHoyt here. Before this video gets started, we've been making it known and telling you guys before every single video that the vast majority of you guys are not subscribed. So make sure to go down below, hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications so you never miss an upload. And don't forget, you can always change your mind later. But after scrolling Instagram late night, we came upon a post with some interesting trade scenarios. What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Welcome back to NHL 21. We got some online versus for you in the background. We're using some unusual teams, but like I said in the intro, late night scrolling on Instagram or any other social media platform is always dangerous, especially late night. But I happened to come across a really interesting post about the NHL and some different trade situations that helped out the other team, significantly more. So here it is on your screen. I don't know if this is who posted it, but it's by NHL Benchside. They said situational trade winners, looking at situational trades that provided big dividends. Now that probably doesn't mean much to you until you see the actual trade. So let's get into trade number one. This is coming from June 15th, 2016. Yeah, 5 years ago, almost to the date from when you guys are seeing this. It was a really interesting situation between Chicago and Carolina. In this one, Chicago needed cap space, right? So they traded away Brian Bickle and Teuvo Teravainen to the Carolina Hurricanes for a 2016 second round pick and a 2017 third round pick. And the reason why it's in this video was, well, Brian Bickle had some health problems. I don't remember exactly what he had, but he was dealing with this crazy, I don't know if it was a disease or I don't think it was cancer, but it was something that prevented him from playing, most of that year. But he came back, made this big emotional return, ended up scoring, I think, a shootout winner in one of the games. And he only had one goal, right, in 11 games played for them. But the big one on this one, Teuvo Teravainen, he's played in 412 games so far with Carolina. He's still there, and he scored 260 points. The reason why this is such a good trade was both the draft picks in this one end up not being too much of anything, right? They haven't done anything yet. I think maybe one of them is signed, but neither of them have done anything there. And like I said, they needed cap space, so they had to get rid of, I think it was Bickle that had the big contract, but Teravainen, on the other hand, a good young player in Carolina, made out great. Our second trade was a year after. This one's going to take place around the Vegas expansion draft era, and it also has to do with the Vegas Golden Knights. So in this case, Vegas received expansion draft considerations for not taking Josh Manson, I think it's Josh Manson, or Sami Vatanen, both of their right-hand defensemen at the time. And since they didn't take either of those players, what did they get? They got Shea Theodore, what would be their best defenseman, arguably, until this past offseason, where they got Alex Pietrangelo, and even then, they both look like their best defenseman. A good 1-2 punch at the back end there. But this one made out great. Manson's still in in Anaheim, and Sami Vatanen ended up getting traded or signed with, or whatever it was, to the New Jersey Devils. And then he ended up trading to Carolina, goes back to New Jersey the following year, then gets claimed off waivers, I think by Dallas, for their playoff run. But still, in this whole trade, Vegas makes out great. They get Shea Theodore, 264 games played so far, still there, signed a big contract, I think a year or two ago, and it has 140 points. So for not taking two of their players that one's no longer there anyway, I think Vegas made out great. In the next trade, we're going back to Carolina, and in this one, we have a prospect in Adam Fox, no longer a prospect, but in this case he was one, and he was not going to sign with Carolina. So what they do, they traded away a second, or I should say, they got a second and a third round pick, a conditional third that ended up being a second from the New York Rangers in exchange for Fox. Well, what's he done since then? Well, he's played 125 games so far. He has 89 points, and this year he is up for the Norris Trophy. And yeah, obviously this one was a huge one, a big piece of the New York Rangers blue line. And like I said, he's up for the Norris Trophy this year. So for not wanting to sign in Carolina to being a Norris Trophy finalist, I think the Rangers made out great in this one. Our next trade just 2 years ago, this one doesn't really seem like much, but it is. So we have Dominic Kubalik, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but he gets traded from the LA Kings after not wanting to sign with them, and they get a 5th round draft pick for him. Well, 5th round draft pick, not wanting to sign, you don't really think much of it, right? Well, how about 124 games played so far, 84 points, and he's actually turned into a pretty big piece there. So he wasn't going to sign with LA. They trade him away. 5th round pick. Didn't really seem like too much. He ends up putting up some big points. I think it was 30 goals in his first year, and that prospect hasn't done anything from that 5th round pick. So I think Chicago made out great in this one. They get a big piece of their forward group, and they get a good young forward that, you know, has put up a pretty big impact. Next trade is actually our first and only goalie in this one, and this one again featuring the LA Kings. They get a 4th round pick from 2017 in exchange for Ben Bishop. They traded him away as a pending UFA that following offseason, and what do you know? Ben Bishop has actually turned around the Dallas Stars franchise, right? They led him to the, the Stanley Cup Finals, or the really close to the finals, I think. And yeah, he's done really well, right? 74 wins, 48 losses, and 14 overtime losses with an average of a .923 save percentage and a 2.32 average goals against in that time. Like I said, he was a pending UFA in that time, and you know, they originally got him for depth, then they go and trade him away for a draft pick. I don't remember what they got him for, but still, a 4th round draft pick for a starting goaltender is a really good deal. I think I made a video when that happened that I was really surprised to not see more out of that. Obviously, he doesn't have a contract for next year, and he may not want to sign with your team, so you always have that risk there, but still, Ben Bishop for a 4th round pick was an absolute huge steal of a deal. And our last trade, this one a little bit interesting. So we have the Edmonton Oilers receiving a conditional 6th round pick in exchange for John Marino. He goes over to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Yet again, another prospect that didn't want to sign with their original team. And this one, John Marino has put up in 108 games played. He's only put up 39 points, but still, he's not playing in those top line minutes since they have Letang, since they had Justin Schultz at one time. He's slowly, fitting in there in Pittsburgh, and obviously he's a really good young right-hand defenseman that should be there for a while if they want to keep him. And he's a good young player, right? He has only 39 points, but still, like I said, he's fitting into his own there. He wasn't going to side with Edmonton, so they might as well get rid of him. But if you think, though, if he were to sign with Edmonton back before they had Barry, before they had some of the players they do now, would he have made a huge impact at Edmonton? Right, a good young right-hand defenseman there, pair him with Nurse or Clefbaum or whoever there, and you probably would have had a pretty good defensive core there. I mean, like I said, he's not a superstar yet, but he's still improving, he's still getting better, and overall he seems to be a big part of that Pittsburgh blue line. Now, this is only 6 trades that were really good in that situation. There's probably a lot more out there, but this is just a 6 that were featured in this post. But let me know, did I miss any? Obviously there's going to be some, but did I miss any? Let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to hit that like button down below if you haven't already, or if you're brand new here, make sure to subscribe, turn those post notifications on so you never miss an upload, and don't forget, you can always change your mind later. But as always guys, we'll see you in the next one.